Canada. But this is going to be our next big weather maker. We got a jet that's just screaming right into the lower 48 as well. There it is, drawn for you nice and pretty so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. So as this all moves east, a couple of things will happen. We're going to warm up ahead of it. We're going to see severe weather ahead of it. It's going to help kick off some of those winds that Jim was just mentioning there. You got some cooler air on the backside of it. I mean, this is kind of textbooky looking for a spring storm, right, where you got that cool and the warm here. And this is going to cause problems for us. If you live into the plains, Oklahoma, Texas, into Kansas, all the way up into South Dakota, that's where we have a better chance of seeing severe weather. Now, Jim showed you those low-level winds punching in. We have them a little bit today, but tomorrow they're a little bit stronger, and so that's why I think tomorrow might be a little more boisterous than we're going to get into today. Jim also mentioned that dry air. This is our dry line. Behind it, you've got that dry air. Your dew points, you know, single digits in some places. Ahead of it, though, is warm and moist, and we have a lot of energy in the atmosphere, and we have a lot of moisture, all that buoyancy. And there's that low-level jet. Same thing. See how you know, one system can be causing two different issues in two different places. And so that low-level jet screams north. You get also some mid-level, upper-level winds coming in. That could cause potential for some bigger storms. So we started this a little bit later in the day because it takes a little bit later in the day for things to develop. And as we head into the evening hours, we might get this big line of storms marching across Oklahoma, portions of Kansas, and into South Dakota as well. Saturday, everything moves east into Minneapolis, Des Moines, all the way down to Oklahoma City. And then, of course, on the backside of this, Jordan, it's going to be snowy for some.
Oh, my goodness, I know.
Time yesterday morning. We are 28 degrees warmer in Chicago, 24 degrees warmer in St. Louis right now than we were yesterday morning. So we had this bump up of the cold air, of the warm air, and now we're just literally going right down a slide. And it's not even one of the ones that kind of go around like this. It's just a straight shot, you know, slide going right down. You'll see those temperatures also here in the Northeast, giving us some problems. Wind chill values below zero this morning, and because of that, we have advisories posted. Wind chill advisory here in Ohio until 11 a.m. for 10 to 20. Below zero, Toledo, Bowling Green, Perrysville, Port Clinton, Fremont, Bellevue, all these areas. And that cold air, you see it come from Canada. You see the white? That white is colder than the pink, so keep that in mind. That is invading us. So tomorrow, Reynolds, we're going to see the opposite of all those warm temperatures and, you know, warmer air in this area.
I'll tell you what, I mean, thankfully all that cold air is just...
No, this is stressing a lot of people out. Boston, 26 inches or 8 inches. That's a massive difference. I mean, that's shutting down, you know, the city and something that we can handle. Hartford, 10 inches versus 1 inch. That's massive as well. I want you to look at the shape of the coast. You know, it'd be different if we just had a nice boxed coastline, right? With our low pressure coming up, that would be a lot easier. But because some of it goes in, some of it goes out, and as our low pressure goes up the coast, sometimes it moves a little bit farther east than we expect. And so if the low goes a little farther east than expected, your snow is going to come closer to the coast opposed to being more inland if that low shifts a little bit in the other direction. So that is a huge player, is what the coastline looks like and our little shifts with our low pressure. For Saturday, we know for sure there's going to be big time wind and there's going to be precipitation. But how much is it and exactly where are our heaviest totals? This is what we're thinking for now, but this is going to change, so you need to stay tuned for the Weather Channel. Watch as our low pressure comes up the coast, and we're going to find that center because the center is key. Here's your low. If that wobbles, you know, a foot this way, which is not a lot in the weather world, that's going to push heavier snow closer right along the I-95 corridor. If the low wobbles just that much that way, then it pulls that heaviest snow offshore. And so as this is going north, we're going to be watching this. And Saturday, we're going to be in what's called a nowcasting phase. And that's when we're watching all the details and seeing exactly where that low is going. But this will make or break some of you. And that's why we're having a hard time, because some of the models want to keep it a little bit closer. And there's a few differences that make a huge difference. Onshore flow, regardless, we're going to have some coastal issues. Winds are going to be atrocious. Traveling out of the Northeast on Saturday is going to be a mess. And some of the airlines are already putting out advisories that you can change your flight. So here's a look at the confidence. High confidence of at least 6 inches from Boston, Long Island, down into the Delmarva. As it gets higher than that, 12 inches, you know, we have a higher confidence here into say Massachusetts, but as you go south of there, we have more medium confidence with that. And then again, our least confidence is going to be where we're going to see those 18-inch snow totals here. So there's a lot still to dissect with this. So the best idea, Reynolds, is just be prepared to the max. Pretty cool with the city there in the background. So why 56% frozen, do you say? Think about the lakes for a second. I'm going to give you the answer. But first, let's talk about how we've seen a huge jump as we kick off this half hour of America's Morning Headquarters. And we've seen a massive jump. Now, this, I think, is just okay, let me just start over because I get too excited sometimes about the weather. This is a look at our visible satellite. Where you see white, that is not moving, that is snow. White that is moving is clouds. But look closely. Do you see this on the water of Lake Michigan? Right on the shores of Wisconsin and Illinois and down towards Indiana. That is ice. Can you believe that? Can you believe a satellite up in the atmosphere is able to see that? And this is visible. This is as if you're sitting on the moon and you're in a chair and you're just have your phone and you're taking video. That's exactly what this is. We also have on Erie. Do you see right about here? Nothing moving, and it's white. That is ice as well. And we can zoom down in and show it to you. So you've got snow, you've got clouds, and you've got the ice. So we just showed you what it's like live. This is what it looks like on a satellite just off of Cleveland. I think it's cool. Hopefully you do as well. Our ice covers really jumped up from the last week. Big time numbers here currently. Erie is the highest percentage, and why is that? Let's think about it. Erie is the smallest and also the most shallow. So that's why we can get more ice, because we don't have all this warm, big mass to freeze over there. And it's actually been not too bad of a winter in places like Cleveland and Erie. Jordan, look how far we are below average. Syracuse even 33 inches below average.
Yeah. Seville, you got to watch out for Waldo. It's a speed trap there, or it was 20, how many years ago when I was in college? It's weird how time flies. All right, let's take you into Philadelphia, and really a nice start to the day. It's been pretty nice. Nice day yesterday, nice day today. Feeling more like summer than fall in Philly as temperatures are climbing here. By early next week, we're talking low 90s. It will be a warm one for Monday Night Football when the Eagles host the Vikings at the Lynx. Now, here's the thing. The autumnal equinox is next week. And we have the warmth, but right on cue, when we get the autumnal equinox in the northern tier, temperatures get wiped away. It's pretty huge. It's pretty awesome. So here's a look at our high temperatures today. Minneapolis already feeling that cooler air coming in, but we're still above average there into Chicago, down into Dallas, Houston, New Orleans. We are feeling the warmth, that warmth surging all the way into the northeast. I mean, Syracuse, 81, that's pretty warm for us here. And tomorrow we still feel it as this big ridge of high pressure keeps us hot, not only during the day, but also as we head into the afternoon hours. We will see our temperatures into the 60s and the 70s too. So let's look at some numbers for us here. On Sunday, we could be tying a record in Bridgeport that was set back in 1992. DC, our record is 91. We're going to be tough to break that at 88. It's hard to get up to that as well. But I think if we're going to be this hot, we might as well at least tie or break a record, right? You got to get something out of it. We've had really low dew points. You're still feeling that cooler air all the way down to the south with our dew point temperatures in the 50s. That's going to change, though. With this warm up, you will see those dew point temperatures start to come on up for us here and into the afternoon hours. It's going to feel a lot muggier, a lot hotter. So you'll have that heat index that will come into play. Temperatures 10, 15. We saw you near record setting temperatures for us. And next week, look at that expanse. We will see it kind of go up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Notice Wednesday, though, what happens. You see how that warmer air starts to get shaded down? All right, your autumnal equinox coming in here Wednesday, Thursday, and we will see a cool off with our temperatures, again, just for that northern part of the country. Topeka, Monday, we could break a record by 2 degrees. That one was set back in 1954. Jordan, as we were talking about yesterday, Connie Francis, this is around the time she was starting to sing Lipstick on Your Collar. 1959 was her big hit.
I feel like you're a reference